Today we're going to be talking about fire cider. This is my favorite thing to reach for when I'm starting to feel cold or flu-like symptoms, sinus congestion, digestive issues, headaches, even a hangover. It can be helpful for that. So we're going to go ahead and start by cutting up our beet. I like to work with it in halves just because it's a little easier to control. You want to make sure you're not going to get your fingers by accident. I like to personally include beet in my fire cider recipe just because it promotes good circulation, it is antioxidant rich, and it adds just a really nice color to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my jar. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the onion. The onion is a very important factor just because, well, both the onion and the garlic are actually going to be very warming and decongesting along with the peppers. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic, and I'm going to crush it a little bit. I like to think of the garlic as an herbal antibiotic. It's very antimicrobial, antiviral. So I have actually eaten garlic raw while traveling to keep from getting sick, or traveling to my family's home country of Mexico. I definitely eat lots of garlic because, you know, you just get sick while you're traveling. And as you just saw, I cut up some peppers. Now I'm going to go ahead and grate some ginger. I like to use grated ginger in my fire cider, and it is a part of the classic recipe that was coined by Rosemary Gladstar. And when you grate something, it also breaks down the cell walls of the plant, making it easier for your solvent to break through and extract those medicinal properties of the plant. And I'm actually going to chop the turmeric just into thin slices. I'm adding turmeric specifically to my fire cider just because it has really powerful anti-inflammatory properties. And that's the fun thing about fire cider, is that, you know, you can get as creative with it as you want. You can pretty much add anything you want to it. It is a very popular folk remedy. So I'm going to go ahead and start grating some of my horseradish. Horseradish is incredibly pungent. It is super powerful. It will clear your sinuses completely. Now I'm going to go ahead and add one of our native varieties of peppers. This is actually going to be chile piquin. I'm not going to pop them open. I'm just going to throw them straight in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and start adding the citrus. I like to make my stuff look very nice, so I will just layer it directly on top like that. And it can be any citrus of your choice. And now I'm going to go ahead and move on to some of my herbs and spices. So this is going to be a common garden sage. So the aromatics work as a diffusive in the fire cider to kind of help everything where it needs to go in your body. I'm going to go ahead and include thyme. And now I am going to add some spices. So here I have a pepper melange. I personally like to add juniper berries because it is a native tree. Working with the plants that are around you actually helps with the seasonal allergies. So now we're going to go ahead and cover everything in the mason jar with this apple cider vinegar. And you'll want to make sure everything in there is submerged. You want to give it about an inch of space at the top. And you will want to cover the top of your mason jar with a piece of parchment paper just because the vinegar will eat away at the metal of your lid. You do not want that leaching into your jar. Give it a good shake. And if you added beets to your fire cider like I did to mine, you will notice in a couple of days it's going to be a bright red color. You're going to let this sit for about 4 to 6 weeks. For Backyard Basics, I am Leila Molina. Thank you so much.